I mean, I say I don't care if it's ugly because I'm just gonna eat it, but come on, this thing looks hideous. I wasn't actually going to do a video on this one, since how many times do I have to show you how to make the best vegan cheesecake ever? It's so easy, like you're literally just throwing everything into a food processor. So this is no different, except that this time it is a coconut cheesecake. And so I guess I decided to change my mind because I really wanted to show you guys how obsessed I've been with this new creamed coconut. I mean, it's not new. It's been in the supermarket forever. I just happened upon it. I recently started using it in my, what did I use that in? Oh, my caramel sauce. If you want the secret to super thick vegan caramel, you guys, you have to click through and go check out my recipe. It's unbelievable. And so, yeah, that's where I first implemented this creamed coconut. So the thing about it, though, is that you do have to reconstitute it because it really is literally like a chunk of coconut. It's like you've got like the coconut oil part up here that's been separated out, but basically it's like pureed coconut. And this is a pretty hard mass here that has to be reconstituted with some hot water and then whizzed up smooth. So I've actually added that into my base recipe for cheesecake this time. Quite honestly, this is really like the star of the show. I think I just wanted an excuse to make these little miniature Mounds candy bars. Mounds and Almond Joy was one of my favorite candy bars before going vegan. So now you can make your own, and it's really simple. I have all the recipes listed out for you on my website. So if you're kind of like, what's the point of this video? You're not even showing us how to make anything. Everything's so easy. Like, this is literally just shredded coconut, sweetened or unsweetened, really to your taste. If you like more sweet stuff, then use the sweetened flakes, and if you don't, then use the unsweetened flakes. I actually used a mix. I used half and half because you are adding to that some coconut condensed milk, and that's really it. And that's what mimics this sticky coconut filling that you would find inside of a Mounds or an Almond Joy bar. So that's going to be a layer on my coconut cheesecake. As you see, I do have a fudge brownie base here that I'm using for the base of my cheesecake, and I actually divided my recipe in half and made one for the base and one for the top. So I'm having sort of like a sandwich effect here. And then some ganache. Like, it's so simple to go ahead and just throw these recipes together while your cheesecake is baking, and then you just kind of slap it all together. So I do want to put just a spot of the ganache on top of my cheesecake, and that's going to stick my other brownie layer on there. So yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really going to put a video together because seriously, I've done cheesecake so many times, and like literally that is the most, like, of all the recipes on my blog, cheesecake is the most, like, I've done the most cheesecake recipes because it's just so fantastic. Like, I have one base recipe for vanilla cheesecake that spins off into literally dozens and hundreds of variations. So if you have an idea for a cheesecake, just grab my base recipe and spin it off and do whatever you want with it. So literally this is sweetened condensed milk just combined with some flake coconut, and you have this thick sticky filling that's just perfect for this cheesecake. So there we have it. Now I am going to pour some ganache over top of that, but I don't like the rough look of that. So I do have some buttercream here. It's just some coconut extract that I added to my vanilla buttercream recipe because I do want to smooth out the top of this so that the ganache has like a smoother top to go over. Who knows what this is going to look like by the end of it. And you know what? I don't even care because this thing is going to be freaking amazing. I can't wait to eat it. So, you know, the good thing about a recipe like this is that you could really change it up. Like, you don't have to add the buttercream layer. You don't have to add that second brownie layer. You don't even have to bake a brownie if you didn't want to. Just use the quick cookie crust that we use normally for cheesecakes. So before I do pour the ganache, though, I do want to get this into the refrigerator just to kind of set so the warm ganache doesn't melt my buttercream and then I have like this disastrous mess. So let me go do that and then we will be right back. All right, I changed my mind. I really don't like the way this looks, so I'm gonna cover this whole thing in a crumb coat of buttercream and then ice the whole thing with ganache rather than just put ganache on the top. I mean, I don't care if it's ugly because I'm just gonna eat it, but come on, this thing looks hideous. So I'm just gonna cover the whole thing. And it's gonna be like this super duper fantastic, extravagant, over the top Coconut Joy Cheesecake. Okay, that's way better. I'm gonna set this up in the refrigerator and then pour that ganache and then we are done. Whenever you're covering cakes in ganache or a mirror glaze, you're always going to need more than you actually need, if that makes sense, because to cover it all in one fell swoop like that so it looks really nice and clean, you do need to have excess. Now that's not waste. As soon as this sets up, I'm going to scrape it up off the parchment paper and reuse it. And ganache stays in the refrigerator for like, well, for me about a week because I eat it with a spoon, but if you have some self-control, you could store ganache in your refrigerator for about a month. I couldn't resist. Well, at least I didn't eat it, but I couldn't resist breaking it open. That's my homemade Mounds. Like, if you make nothing else about this whole recipe, make these candies. They are so good. Oh. Let's see how this is gonna go. Already, you're killing me. When a cake like this is covered, well, I guess like this goes back to my bakery days. Like, I want people to know what the cake is just by looking at it. So, you know, when a cake is covered with ganache and like, yeah, sure, it has these little candies on there, but they don't know that they're coconut candies. So I don't know, just with people who have allergies, I would always do that with peanut cakes or, you know, really just like try to make the decor lend itself to what's inside the cake so that there's no surprises for anybody. You know, the problem with me in making homemade candy bars is that I sure do make gigantic candy bars. Like, these things barely even fit on here. Who else is going for that candy bar first? I couldn't wait to eat that Mounds. So while I did call this the Coconut Joy Cheesecake after the Almond Joy candy bar, this cheesecake has no nuts, but it is delivering on the joy. Now, I will confess, this is not the prettiest slice of cheesecake I've ever seen, but let me tell you something, this cheesecake is amazing. So I could deal with a little bit of ugliness when it's got flavor like this. So I hope that you guys are going to want to make this recipe. Head on over to my website at gretchensveganbakery.com to grab all the recipes. It is super simple to throw all of this together, and in an instant you too can have a coconut joy cheesecake. All right everyone, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, happy vegan baking. Bye for now.